So you get a little more personal touch today. We're going to be doing, and it's really kind of interesting because we're doing one on energetic modeling, which a lot of people want to know about. So maybe we'll have to do another one at a later date, or they can watch the replays. But energetic modeling to me, and energetic embodiment modeling, um, is like taking the revealing process and putting it on steroids. It's really the together are so powerful. It's incredible. And then we want to put the two together. And ultimately, that's what I've been working towards. I actually learned a lot of the energetic embodiment process before I learned revealing and understood revealing. And as I learned it more and more, I began to realize the power of the two together took the process through the roof. So we're going to talk about that today. Let's see. Is anybody else coming in? We're at 16. We're actually losing people. Apparently, it's just not an exciting day to be on a webinar. Maybe the sun's out and everybody's excited to be outside. Okay, well, let's talk about this. What is energetic modeling? And I should really call energetic or revealing process energetic revealing. It just doesn't sound as pretty to me, but it's a powerful idea when you think about it. Because ultimately they go together like a perfect little recipe. Now, to understand the energetic embodiment process, energetic modeling process, you got to understand energetic embodiment. And embodiment is the principle that you can feel in your body. You can feel your emotions, you can feel your heart, you can feel your turn on, you can feel all parts of your body. And what we do is we use revealing to start to develop more feeling in the body, along with subtle, very, very subtle meditative movement work, which is the energetic embodiment portion. We're re-embodying the body. We're finding all the parts that are shut off, that are repressed, that are turned off. Like if your heart's really numb and it's pulled back and you can't feel much in there, that has a lot to do with your ability to relate to others emotionally. If your stomach is a mess, that probably has a lot to do with your self-esteem and how you feel about yourself. If your turn on isn't there, you're not going to have passion to take action and make stuff happen. This is all embodiment process. For those of you that are a little more, you think, oh, no, that's not the case. And you think that everything is more set in stone, I urge you to check out a book called Molecules of Emotion by Candace Pert. She's a scientist who really showed that the molecules in the body are different parts of the body are really storing emotion, and how emotions work chemically in the body and how they affect that part, whether it's the stomach, the heart, and how it all kind of relates on a scientific level. Very powerful work she did there. So these emotions get trapped, and it could be in the throat. Well, I see a lot of anxiety get stuck in the jaw and people start grinding and their teeth start pulling up. I see a lot of fear get stuck in toes, of all places, weird stuff. And when these areas change, your life outside changes, because suddenly you start to relax into this body, this vehicle that creates your reality. Now, to understand that a little deeper, can you create anything in the physical world without a body? No. So your body is your vehicle to get along in the physical world. It's just like having a car. You can't go on the freeway without a car. That's a death sentence, right? Or it could be. And it's not recommended, at least. So you want to learn to use your body the way it was meant to be used. You want to tune it up. You want to keep it in shape. And that's not just physically. A lot of people think, oh, that's physically good food and exercise and stuff like that. No, the body has a whole huge energetic and emotional component. And you want to get used to feeling that energetic and emotional component and expressing that energetic emotional component. That's what we talk about here. We talk a lot about that. When you're talking to a girl, can she feel my heart? Can she feel my turn on? When I'm making a business deal, can they feel my confidence and my self-assuredness? And these emotions come off and they transmit to other people. That's the embodiment portion. So if these areas are shut down, pulled away, pulled back, turned off because of pain, because of abuse, because of you never really learned to embody that part of your body energetically, because an emotion is just energy, right? Energy, emotion equals energy and motion. Then what happens is you begin to pull away parts of yourself from the outside world. Or instead of using your emotion to relate to somebody else, you begin to push and pull on them, trying to get what you want. You start to use more anger to push. I'm going to force this to happen, and then people push back, and you don't get the connection you want. So let's say with women, you walk up to a girl and you say hi, and you're frustrated with women because you haven't had a date in a while, and you feel like women are being whatever, you're mad at them, you're like, hi, and you throw this little bit of energy or hi, and there's a little cockiness and energy and anger, and she feels that, and so she puts up a wall and she starts pushing back. That all comes from your body. At a deep level, the releasing is releasing all the stories and the emotions that are stored in the body to let the body be free again. But another approach to that is then moving the body in subtle meditations to get the stuff to come up, the old stories, the feelings, the emotions stored in your heart as we do heart work, and the throat as we do throat work, or in different parts of the body, the stomach, and then releasing them that way. The original way we used to do it is we'd just move and explore the movements meditatively until they released. When I learned releasing, it was an active process to move and then apply the releasing to the movement, put the two together, and cause this massive growth in this area. So I want to encourage you guys to put all that together. Now, what we're going to talk about today is energetic modeling. You all have a certain level of embodiment, and this is great for energetic modeling. Energetic modeling to me is like visualizing what you want to create in the world. And everybody says visualization is key to the elite performers. Like every elite athlete and every business person I know, they picture what they want over and over. They hold it in their frontal lobe. They see it as if it's already happened. Neville Goddard talks about visualize it as if it's already happened, and you're kind of like celebrating. It's like the day later. What would you be doing? Where would you be? You just hit $1 million in your business. You just got that amazing girlfriend. You had that. You went out to the bar and you got an amazing date. Whatever it is, and you visualize it the next day, and you're hanging out with your buddies and saying, yeah, it was amazing. Did you see how I was last night? And what that does is it creates this powerful subconscious idea that this is who you are. You know, the subconscious says it's not like I'm even visualizing doing it. I'm visualizing it's done, and I just do this stuff normally. And that's a powerful come from. Well, the whole idea of energetic embodiment is to take that to the next level. Well, how can we take it to the next level? It's very, very simple in reality, but your skill set and your ability to do it, just like anything, like dribbling a basketball in theory is very simple. The doing of it develops the ability. So what is it? It's the ability to take what you're visualizing and making it 3D in the physical world. I can visualize, let's say I'm visualizing going on a date and I want to have a date, and I can visualize it in my mind. Or maybe it's the next day and I wake up with this beautiful woman in my bed. Who knows what it is, but it's whatever excites you and turns you on, right? And so I can visualize that, and you can all visualize that. But most of the time when I visualize that, I shut my eyes and I go into another world, and I visualize in another world, and I'm sitting there just kind of exploring what it's like in that world. And it feels really good. I can get some endorphin pops, and I can get some really good chemicals running through my body if it's something my body really wants and likes the idea of. If the body's in resistance to it, I may not as much. But that's the normal visualization process. Now, here, let me put up the chat. I can't see the chat right now. Okay, here's the chat. Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard was the book. Okay. So so all of you do that for a second. Take a few seconds, everybody that's on the call, and just shut your eyes for a minute, feel your body, and start visualizing something you want. And just notice what it feels like. Something you want to create. And you can put it in your body. You can put it in another world. You can put it up here above your head. I don't care where. Put it where it feels good. And let me know through the chat after you've done it for 30 seconds or so, if you were able to make what you were visualizing feel really good, feel really warm, fuzzy, like, wow, this would be cool. This would be exciting. And you can really visualize anything, you know, you being a superhero. I don't care. But let's put it down to something that you want to create in your life personally. Okay, Nimrod wrote fuzzy. Okay, so move it somewhere, move it around a little bit, Nimrod. And does it fuzzy feel good or does it fuzzy feel bad? Fuzzy's actually okay if it feels good. because the key is the emotional relationship to what you're feeling. Okay, good. That's perfect. Fuzzy will clear itself up with time. In the beginning, we're often fuzzy when we first start doing it. Yeah, that you have to learn to control, Randall. He said he wrote, "My mind keeps bouncing to other things." That's a problem with focus. So this is where imagination is one of the most powerful tools, and we haven't even got to energetic modeling yet. And if you don't get your focus under control, you will not get anywhere in life. So I'm going to give you an assignment, Randall. Get a candle or a light or something and stare at it for 10, 15 minutes every day for a while, like a meditation. Your goal is to keep your focus on that candle, not let your mind wander. Just relax, learn to relax into it. At first, it's going to probably seem like torture, but every day you'll get a little better. Maybe start with 5 minutes a day and work your way up to 15 might be easier. And just keep, when your mind wanders to something else, come back to the candle. When it wanders, come back until you can start staying with that candle for like 10, 15 minutes at a time. This will change your life radically in your ability to focus, okay? You need to learn to activate and be able to hold things in your frontal lobe to be able to create the reality you want. If your mind is constantly bouncing from thing to thing, it's really hard to use imagination and energetic embodiment to create what you want. Okay. A little more energy in my chest, but does it feel good, Miklos? A fuzzy too, feel more energized. Good. Energized is good. If you're feeling fear of rejection, move it. Jacob, move it somewhere, like put it farther out of your body, because it's too close to here, to your physical reality. And move it, like go into another universe, another world that you own, go into your fan and just feel it and explore it till it starts to feel really good to your body. Are you able to do that, Jacob? Nice. Now that is what I call the staging ground. So in this staging ground is almost like you're where you're preparing to create something, bring something into the physical world. And you want this nice, safe space in another dimension, in another world that you create in your mind that feels really good. And that's where you can activate all your really good emotions and paint the picture of what you want to create. And that's the goal. Yeah, numbness is a feeling, and with time, it starts to go away. Okay, if you keep practicing the numbness breaks up. Embodiment work is super huge for that, yoga and embodiment work and stuff like that. Okay, so so that's perfect. If you guys can create your staging ground, you can put your fantasies in another world, and you can create your own little bubble of a world where you can see yourself as the perfect dating machine, or talking to girls in a bar, flirting, flowing, open-hearted, feeling your turn on in that world and flowing with it. Then you will begin to move in the direction of creating your reality and energetic modeling. So we got to be able to create that first. And then you begin to move that slowly into the physical reality. And we're going to talk about what that is next. Okay, so yeah, you have to work on, if you're feeling grief right now, then you have to work on and let it go of that grief. Because if you have something really bothering you in the now and it's pulling you away from your ability to visualize, that's a now problem that I would do releasing on and clean up so that you can get back to your visualizations. Now, visualization doesn't have to be perfect. It can be fuzzy. It can be super sharp. It can be anywhere in between. The more you do a visualization, the sharper it's going to get over time. But in the beginning, it might just be fuzzy with a warm feeling. And then you kind of build on that every day, a little bit at a time. There's no rush. You can build on it for days on end. I've known people to work on huge, huge dreams, and they visualize it every day, the end result over a long period of time until it eventually comes true. What happens along the way is stuff leading up to it starts to happen, but it doesn't happen. They're what I'd call initiatives or little goals in between you and the big goal. Or you could set little goals and realize those. Teaching your body that what I visualize here, I'm going to create in the physical world. We're going to gap those two in a minute. But a good example of this would be Mark Zuckerberg, right? Mark Zuckerberg is the founder of Facebook. And he used to visualize and picture, and he had it written on his desk right in front of him that he had 100 million, I believe, subscribers to Facebook. And every decision he made was filtered through that idea. And every day he looked at it, and every day he pictured it. Do you think it got clearer day by day? Do you think it got more real to him? You think there details popping in and more realizations and understanding, because he had no other goal in his life. That was it. This is going to happen. And if somebody came to him with a great idea that didn't involve Facebook getting to 100 million subscribers, he didn't do it. He didn't care how good the idea was. He was not going to divide his energy. So all his energy flowed into that one idea. That ability to hold a focus and not let his mind wander was so powerful with him. That's why he's so successful today. Um, so this becomes really powerful. Now, when you can start to create your reality, and you have that little world or that place you can go to create this reality, then the next thing you want to do is you want to start to bring it in and through your body into the physical world. And that's the precursor to it literally becoming physical. You have to be able to bring it energetically. That's what we call energetic modeling into the physical world first. And so I have something off in another dimension, in another world. It's not in the physical world. I'm picturing it and I see it. And when I shut my eyes, I meditate and go there and I play with it. But now I want to make it real. How do I do that? Well, what I have to do is begin to create a scene in the physical world and take that image that I've created there and now to start to put it into the physical world in and through me. So what I want to do is I want to be able to picture it and hold that image and see it. And so I'll give you an example. I don't have a ball up here. I usually start with something simple, a simple shape like a ball. But you can use anything. I'm going to take, here's a cell phone, right? I can sit and feel the dimensions and the size of the cell phone. And I can begin to get really in touch with it with my body. And I can feel it with my mind and hold it. And then I can put it down and see, can I still feel it? Can I feel the texture? Can I feel the feeling of it? I can pick it back up. I might do it with my heart. See, can I fall in love with feeling this thing? Can I feel a little tingle in my heart? Can I drop it down to my stomach level and feel it, and then picture it, and then put it down and then feel it down here and down to my turn on, down to my legs? I'm going to do this whole thing. And then what I want to ultimately be able to do is put this down and see this cell phone and feel it as if it's, to get my mind so into feeling with it that it seems real. It seems like I have a 3D energetic version of it in physical reality. I can even open my eyes and see the images as if I can see the image in my mind's eye with my eyes open, looking at it, almost like a meditative state with my eyes open. And I can feel that thing. And I feel it with each part of my body. Okay. Now, the reason I pick an innocuous object like this, it's easy to do. You can go through and pick any object and you can do it very easily. When you start to do it with your dream, all your emotions, fears, doubts, and worries get involved. And so we have to clean that up. And that's what the releasing's for. Okay. And that's also what the movement's for, to clean all that up. But first, let's start with something simple. So what I want you guys to do is I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to set a timer here, and I'm going to give you guys, find an object, and I'm going to set the timer for the next 2 minutes. And what I want you guys to do in the next 2 minutes is I want you to pick that object, something simple, something you don't have resistance to or no stories about. It's just maybe a ball or maybe the phone or maybe an object like here's a can, and model it like I did and just feel it through your, see if you can focus on it, see it, and then see if you can feel it with your heart, see if you feel it with your stomach, and then see if you can make it really real, to put it down, pick it up, put it down, pick it up. So you get a sense that there's an energetic version of it that you're holding on to, even when you're not holding the physical version. See if you can nail that. So I'm going to start the timer right now, and then I'll tell you when the 2 minutes is up. You guys can write comments or whatever you want, but see if you can accomplish that goal. Sometimes this takes training. It takes training of the nervous system, the mind, to be able to do it. And that's why we do it this way. So ready, set, go. So you have about 20 seconds left. That's it. So good. Who was able to do that and able to get the sense that they were able to feel that object? Go ahead and put some comments on what your experience was with that exercise. Perfect. So it looks like a lot of you are doing really well. Good, good, good. Yeah, and with practice, you'll get better at this. And you see people doing this stuff with like qigong, and they create balls of energy and all kinds of stuff like that. You see, it's my personal belief that we create everything energetically before we create it physically. My mind starts to envision an object. Like, let's say I'm a ceramics. I work in ceramics, and I want to make this mug. I start picturing the qualities and internally the qualities of this mug, and then I start bringing it. First, I picture it in this staging ground, get it really solid, and maybe I even draw blueprints. Maybe I draw pictures, and I make it more real by doing that. And then eventually, I start picturing it in the physical world. I'll start saying, can I see it on the desk there? Can I see it over there? We're unconsciously doing this all the time. And then we get emotionally invested into moving it from the non-physical to physical, and that's where tension comes in. To move something from the non-physical to the physical, we get involved in tension, and that's where we get out, and that causes us to get turned on for the idea. That's the turn on part. And then we go to create it in physical reality, whatever process that takes to create something like this in physical reality. Well, that's done on massive scales too. Something like the Empire State Building is done the same way. Somebody gets the idea, the inkling in their mind. It's that first little spark. And then they start picturing the idea of creating this Empire State Building, this huge building that's beautiful. And then they start saying, where would it be? Where could I see it? What would it look like? And they start picturing it. Then they get more people involved and more people involved in this idea. And they all talk about it. And they're creating the staging ground of this idea together. Then eventually they start making it more real by doing what? Drawing pictures, creating blueprints, all visualizing. They're getting, by doing that, they're all getting on the same page of exactly what it looks like. And now you got thousands of people creating this one building together, from the workman all the way down to the smallest workman and back up, all looking at the artist concepts, the pictures. They're looking at the blueprints down to every bolt, and they're all holding the idea in mind together. And now it's and because they've picked the spot on the ground where it's going to be in New York, they're all visualizing when they come to work, seeing this building come into form. And especially the guys at the top, the guys that are putting it all together, making it happen. They have the most power of visualization because they're looking at the blueprints every day. They're picturing it done. They're picturing all the people going in and out right on that very spot. So it moves from the non-physical to the physical. This is energetic embodiment and modeling. So the next piece is you need to take that idea that you visualized earlier, and I want you to visualize it into the 3D physical world that's around you. Okay, so picture it for a moment. Take a moment and say, can I picture that with my mind's eye? If it's a girl that you're talking to, maybe she's standing right in front of you. So first shut your eyes and picture her right in front of you, and then open your eyes and see if you can see her. Then shut your eyes. And you're going to notice there's going to be a difference. When you start to bring her into the physical world, that's where sometimes challenges come up, because there's stories that are stored in different parts of the body where the energetic embodiment's weak, start to get stuck. You start to really feel where you're in resistance to having this thing in your life. And that's where your releasing needs to be done. So I would picture it with the mind here, picture it with the heart. You can picture it with the throat, like talking to her if you want, saying this is going to happen. You can picture it with the stomach, where it starts to feel much more solid. You can picture it with your turn on, where you get invested. That's your creative energy. That's where you begin to want to bring it into real, true physical reality. Picture it with your legs, where your grounding happens. and just see her right in front of you, or it, or whatever you're creating, your business. And then I want you to do is go open your eyes and begin to move and interact with it. The ultimate goal is, first, you're picturing it up here. It's real easy to picture. People don't ever want to leave that state. I ask them to open their eyes and move their bodies and interact with the thing they're creating in a meditative way. And what they do is they get stuck, and they won't open their eyes. They won't move because they're afraid they're going to lose it. And they're right, because when they bring it into the physical world, it's harder at first. But the goal is to bring it in, and if it falls apart, move it back up here, clean it up, do it again, and then release on it. Keep doing it till you can visualize, and you got days, weeks, months, however long you need to do this, till you can visualize this goal happening around you. Like if you're on this, and if any of you ever watched Star Trek and saw the holodeck, it's the same basic idea. You walk into this empty room, and the computer creates this scene around you that looks so real, you don't know the difference. The same as putting on VR. You put on a VR helmet and you look around, and suddenly there's a whole world around you that wasn't there before. And you want to see that world and make it real to you. And then you can do that for like 10, 15 minutes at a time, and then let it go. And all day long, when your mind starts to doubt or worry or think about it, just let it go. Let it go. You did your visualization. Now you let it go. It's done. I put it in the next day, or a couple of days later, you do it again. And you keep doing this till it gets stronger and stronger and stronger, until your body starts to really take on the idea. So you're bringing it into form. Are you all getting the idea of what I'm talking about? Yeah, and somebody wrote they can't move it through their whole body, and that's normal. You have to practice. It's not an instantaneous thing. It's like learning. You never dribbled a basketball when you're a little kid and your ball goes everywhere. You got to practice. You're bringing it into the physical world. It's not as easy as in that fantasy world, but we want that fantasy world as a staging ground, as a practice ground, and we can go back and forth and start to compare the two. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do for a minute, and then I'm going to answer your questions, is I'm going to ask you to do it. And Maros asked, how can I interact with it in a meditative way? Well, that's something. I mean, what is meditation? You can walk and meditate. You can stand. There's moving meditations. That's what movement is all about. What our energetic embodiment. It's learning to get in that really still mind state by sitting and shutting your eyes, going to that other world, stilling your mind, stilling your body, and then opening your eyes and then see if you can see it in front of you. And then maybe close your eyes and then open, and then maybe interact. Go touch it a little and then step back and move very slow. And what you don't want is too many thoughts to kick up. You just want to see it and let it be there and let your body feel it. What'll happen is wherever in your resistance is where all your thoughts are going to kick up, where you're going to start thinking. You're going to start seeing why I can't do this, why this would be hard. You just keep letting all that go. That's what releasing's for. And still it gets more real. That might take time. It might take months for you to realize a true goal that's really deep inside you, that's huge. It might happen instantly. It depends on how much resistance you have in your body. And that's when we do all this work as coaches, this is what we're actually helping you to eliminate, is all that resistance. Let me look at your comments again. Yeah, and I always recommend start with small things, really small, easy to manifest things, and teach yourself to manifest stuff, and then work up to the bigger things. So with that said, guys, I want you guys to take your goal, whatever it is. Maybe it's you're flirting at a bar. Don't make it a huge goal. But you already created one. You could use that one. Maybe it's you starting a business and getting your first sale. Maybe it's a simpler goal, like I'm gonna go. I want to picture myself on a weekend vacation up at the beach somewhere, or I want to picture myself, getting flowers from somebody, or I want to picture myself dancing somewhere. Whatever it is, and we've had so many versions of this that are crazy, that are simple, that are easy to create. We had one guy. First off, I had my sister pick. I didn't have her. I asked her to pick something easy, and she pictured herself receiving a bunch of money in a wad. And she said she wanted to, and it was coming from a man specifically. And she modeled it. And a week later, she got literally that. It showed up. Boom. It happened to be her son. He walked in the door, and he had disappeared and gone somewhere. He came back and he walked in the door and handed her, just said, "Here, oh, I owe you money." And she didn't know he was coming. She didn't even know he was going to be there, and just showed up and handed him a wad of bills exactly like she imagined. We had another client. He pictured, I believe it was black panties with a pink bow, and he kept seeing him, touching him, holding him in his energetic modeling. And then he got it 3D. You could see him with his hands. I could see him over there feeling them. The next day after doing it, he was with a girl that he was seeing, and she took off her clothes and she had black panties with a pink bow on. And he said he totally freaked out. He's like, "Oh my God, how did this happen?" Okay. I've seen when there's no resistance, it's kind of amazing how fast things can manifest. We've got one guy on here. Actually, I'm going to have him talk about it really quick. Are you on the call? He's not. Not here today. Okay. Sorry, guys. Can't have him talk about it. I'll have to talk about it for him. But you all know. Oh, yeah, you are. I see you there. Sam. Hey, Sam, can you tell your story of the dancing girl, or one of them? Just tell one of your stories. You've done so many energetic models that have come.
I had a feeling you're going to call on me.
Energetic.
The most interesting one, and we're talking about ones that were working on things that seem there's less resistance to. And it was that time after the releasing workshop where you and I, where we did this process with you at the very end. And mine was really simple, which was a woman waves to me and says hello. And it started there, and I started deeply feeling it more. It started to turn into a little conversation. And then since we had an extra 5 minutes, I thought, well, maybe she asked for my phone. She asked for my phone number. So that's what I was really feeling. And you and I went out late at night. We went to Erewhon to get some food, 11:30 at night. I was on the way to the bathroom. And a young woman looked at me, waved, smiled, and told me, she said, "Hi, you look like Stanley Tucci." So we laughed about that and talked about that. We had a nice conversation. After 10 minutes, she asked for my phone number. Funny thing was is that I did not make the connection, even though that we had just done the energetic modeling an hour and a half before. And it wasn't until I walked back to see you, I went, holy shit, it just happened. And it went on to happen for the rest of the week. Women were smiling and waving at me.
And that's beautiful. And that's the whole idea of, women hit on me, women like me, women kind of energy. It's a real thing. You can model it until you start to feel it. And then your subcommunication changes. You can't see all the little 1% that change that create that reality. Sam couldn't see all the little 1% that changed that allowed him to be so open. These women started to want to talk to him, but he's doing it on an unconscious level. So welcome that idea, guys. Anything else you want to say about that, Sam?
No, I've been practicing it again just yesterday, a beautiful day. The golf courses were open to pedestrians. So people were having picnics all over the golf courses. It was really awesome. And I modeled women just looking at me. I thought, I'm just going to walk the golf course and I'm going to feel women looking at me. Fuck. Women were looking at me all over the place.
There you go.
Couples and groups of women. And
so that's exactly how it works. When you have no resistance. Now, if you have a lot of resistance in your body, what does it feel like when you have a lot of? Have you ever modeled something that you had a lot of resistance to?
It's a little harder. There's some layers to get through.
Yeah, and until that resistance goes away, you won't see the full version. Maybe you'll see modified versions. Maybe you won't see anything. If it's really bad resistance, you might push away what you want while you're working through it, and that's normal. And that's because ultimately the pain pleasure principle, the body wants to create what feels good and push away what feels bad, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and Brian, I also experienced that. I was modeling something specific and then I didn't get that specific thing, but a version of it kept popping up. And I realized, at first I thought, oh, I'm not getting what I want. But I realized, oh, these are just, I call them breadcrumbs. That means I'm on the right path. It's not the full version because I still probably had some resistances, but the universe is saying this and this and this.
All along the way, perfectly. Yeah. And that ultimately is what you want to get excited about. Each one of those I would write down as a gain, like, oh, look what happened here. Look what happened here. And teach your subconscious that this stuff is great as you move towards the one you really want to create. So another rung on the ladder. So guys, I want to ask you guys to do this a little bit. Pick something easy. Maybe it's the thing you just modeled in your fantasy world, and I want you to take a few moments and bring it into physical reality, and see what it's like. See if you can get to the point. We're only going to do a short version, but see if you can get to the point where you can open your eyes and you can kind of see, even if it's vague or not sure. You can see it, you can touch it, and you can shut your eyes and go. You can go back and forth just like you did with the small object, and tell you, and almost picture like you've got this scene in front of you on a stage, and you're the director. And every time you open your eyes, you're going to go modify the scene a bit, or you're going to go inside, think about how you want it, and then come back and modify it a bit. Go inside, think about how you want it, go back and modify it a bit until that scene on stage is starting to morph itself into what you want. Now, the next piece is being able to hold it in a good feeling way in form, seeing it kind of interact with you. You don't want to see, in actuality, you're one of the actors in the scene too. So you're directing and acting, you're in it. So the scene is interacting with you. So don't put yourself outside of it, put yourself in it. If you just keep your eyes shut the whole time, you're not fully doing it. So you can have your eyes shut and picture it around you, and then you can have your eyes open and you go into the scene and interact with it. So I'm going to ask you all to do that for, I'm going to ask you all to do that for a couple minutes and just see what you can experience. Now, some of you are going to have to work on this with time. It's going to take time to develop these abilities and these skill sets to be able to do this. Some of you are going to do it right away. What do you do if you picture something like an accident and you feel it? Is letting go will bring it into reality? Is letting go will bring into reality? You let it go. If it's not what you want, you keep letting it go and releasing, because what the mind is trying to do is create obstacles between you and the thing you want to create. And so it's putting up images that fit your closer, push the images that are kind of pushing it away, making it fall apart. So you got to keep releasing those until you can start to see it the way you want. Good. A pounding sensation of joy. That's beautiful, Marls. So if you don't want it to happen, don't keep fighting it. Look, stuff doesn't happen right away. The moment you picture something that doesn't happen, there's always a delay. That's part of the job of the physical world, is to cause a delay. If everything you thought about happened immediately, you would be, in bad shape. Everybody would be, because we think about stuff all day long. It's what you think about intensely with emotion over time that manifests. So welcome that feeling, that scene of the accident, welcome it, see it, and then start letting it go. If you fight it, keep pushing it away the moment it comes up and freak out, you're actually empowering it. You're giving it more energy by doing that. So you got to welcome it and let it go. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do now is take 2 minutes and do the energetic modeling. Take 2 minutes, and I'm going to set a timer again. I'm going to turn off, and what I want you to do is just shut your eyes for a minute. I'm sure I'll give you a little bit longer. That's probably too short. We'll put it at 4 minutes, and it's going to be a super short one. But what I want you to do is just relax, see if you can feel good in your body, picture it in the staging ground, and start bringing it out, and see if you can see it with each spot. Start to see it with the mind's eye, see it with the throat, see it with the heart, feel it with the stomach, and just see if you can then start to interact with it. And I'll just call out every once in a while. We're about a minute in, 2 minutes in, 3 minutes in. So we're going to do a quick version of it. Yeah, I can picture stuff in front of me almost instantly, really fast if I really want to. It's not hard. It took me seconds to do this phone. If I want to picture somebody talking to me, I can do it pretty quickly. The key with the depth of taking a minute or so to meditate, just like a minute or two to just kind of sink in and then see it, is it can get a little more real because your mind gets more still. And actually, you know what? We'll make it 5 minutes. I think that'll be better. And let's go back. And oops, I made it 50 minutes, 5 minutes. There we go. So what I'm going to ask you, I'll just call out time as we go, and I'll let you guys experiment with it. There is no right or wrong. A lot of you are looking for right and wrong of how to do this. There is no right and wrong. There's just feel it in the staging ground, feel it with the body, and then picture it out in front of you and create a holodeck scene. Go back and forth, go back to the staging ground, go back to until it starts to become real to you. As long as you're moving towards feeling lighter, better, towards the scene getting a little more real, a little more alive, you're moving in the right direction. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can, like, if you can make it vague scene and make it feel good, start with that, and then over time, over weeks or however long you need, you'll slowly add details and make it more definitive and more powerful. In the beginning, you might have to start with ambiguity as your mind is releasing and figuring out the resistance. If there's any resistance coming up, welcome it and release it. Learn the revealing process. Learn how to reveal what's underneath and get deeper and deeper and deeper and get beyond that resistant emotion. Okay. So we're going to start right now. Ready, set, and go. Okay, about a minute and a half in. So start seeing if you can bring it in and through your body into the physical world now if you haven't started that. Okay, you're at 2 minutes. So you got 2 minutes left. You have to go back and forth, work on it, or you can feel it in one part of your body more than another. Maybe work with that. If it's feeling really good, maybe start adding some more details. Start seeing what that feels like. You have about a minute left. Awesome. So go ahead and start this process of letting it go now. And I just want you to let the whole thing go, let it float off like as if you're letting a balloon float out into the air, energy float away, and just let it go and then sit and then bask in the feeling for a minute of what you created as you let the image go. It's almost like a cell signal. You're letting the cell signal go so that it can go out and find the right people, the right situations, the right spots in time and space to create this reality in your physical world, to bring it to you. So you got to let it go. And all you want to do is just enjoy the afterglow of the experience of creating that. And so I'll give you another minute or so for that. Good job, guys. Really good job. So how y'all feeling? I saw that Nimrod wrote it's harder. Yeah, it is harder. That's the whole point. When you're moving something from the non-physical to physical and you're putting it into the physical world, it is going to be harder. That's the whole point of it. But resolving that is what brings it into reality. So if you can start to release on this idea, the story that's telling you it's harder and you should be going out to do something physical to actualize your world, then you'll do much better with the time. Yeah, that's where your releasing's at. Basically, that's where your revealing's at. Keep revealing at that point. Good. And now, can you enjoy that turn on, Maros? Just enjoy it and let go. Sit in that turn on, enjoy it, play with it, dance with it, and stop and let go of any attachment to it. You can enjoy turn on without attachment. Feeling tingly, that's great. I feel my heart open. I felt nothing from there before. Also, I feel satisfaction in my stomach. I feel good though. I can't visualize exactly what I wanted. That's great. That's a start. And in time it develops. Like if you're making something out of clay, at first it's kind of, and then in time it gets more detailed, more detailed. Same thing with animation. If you look at animation, I have a friend that's an animator and he'll do the rigging and you'll see all this rigging, which is this like skeleton underneath and all this stuff they do long before the image gets clear. They have an artist draw it, but then in time it gets more real and more real and more real to turn it into an animation. And that's really powerful too. I was crying during my visualization, involuntary. That's great. That's a nice release and it's opening of your heart. I feel wonderful, but is that normal? It's beautiful. Was imagining a girl sitting on the floor of my bedroom and I felt tingly in my balls and stomach. Great. Sounds great to me. It sounds like it's enjoyable. I felt good. My heart is open. So this is the basic idea. You don't have to do it every day. Do it once in a while. Checking with you can check in with your visualization on a regular basis, but you don't have to do it every day. And with time, you'll get better and better and better at it. So I want to invite you into playing with this process. If you want to learn more about these processes, we have an energetic and modeling embodiment program. It's basically, we're doing lots of movement work to teach you to embody your body more, to feel good in your body, so that then you can put it into modeling and start to create what you want. It also teaches releasing or revealing process in there. So we're using the revealing process to release all the resistance in the body. And then we're using the modeling process to then to project what we want and then release more or reveal more. And we're constantly doing this over and over and over till you can bring into your physical reality everything you want. I mean, there's nothing holding you back, guys. So, but other than your beliefs and your stories and what's possible, I mean, what if Wright brothers had bought into the idea that they could not fly? Nobody had flown at that time. Every scientist, most scientists, a lot of them said it was impossible, never be done. They refused to buy into it. Do you think they were modeling? They were out there creating physical models of things they thought would work over and over, picturing it all day long, obsessed over it. They weren't even scientists. They were bicycle builders, guys. So, sorry, try not to sneeze. So the Wright brothers didn't let that stop them. They went for it, 1,000%. They just went for it, guys. So you can do the same thing, okay, with your life. If I imagine becoming more socially confident, which scene should I imagine? That's up to you, man. What feels good to you? What can you do that you want to either make feel good or is on the verge of feeling good that you can push towards feeling good? And then that would be the scene of action. Also, as Neville says it, you can picture stuff after it's happened, like the next day. Maybe you went out to the bar that night, you met a beautiful woman, and the next day you're all hanging out together all day. And so you picture the next day. And then that implies that last night happened to your subconscious mind. So that's another great way to do it. But, you know, people want a technique. They want a specific how-to. And what I focus on is what is moving you towards feeling better and better and better, because that's ultimately moving you towards your purpose and towards your goal. Better and better and better in a grounded, relaxed sort of way, not a state pump, distracting sort of way. Not I'm not feeling good because I took a bunch of something, drank a bunch of beers and now I'm buzzed feeling good. No, feeling good on my own high, my own body, naturally grounded through my whole body, relaxed. Okay. And that's really the key. So with that said, guys, I want to take some questions. We kind of went through, was taking a lot of questions because I was reading the chat. I was doing it a little different today because I was teaching in a way where it's very interactive. But I'm going to move to the question and answer box. We have one in there for Maros. And if anybody else wants to put anything in the Q&A box, so you're welcome to do it right now. And then we're going to close out. We've only got like 20, there's 23 of you on this call. So it's cool. It's a small group. So I'm going to look at that now. So the first question from Maros is, thanks for all the value. I used the revealing process that you are teaching and I managed to get my first client. Congratulations. How can I use releasing energetic modeling to manifest a relationship with passion and connection? By doing the same thing. Can you picture, can you see, can you feel yourself in a relationship? Can you feel a woman drawn to you, attracted to you, wanting to be with you? Can you picture her curious about you? I mean, what feels good? Can you picture women chasing you and you connected? And can you picture you two connected? You know, these are things you can play with. And but you got to figure out what feels good to you. I'm doing what you told in the video of grounding in audio, every day. But when someone slaps me in the chest, I can't feel the energy going all the way down through the legs, though I was relaxing the legs and the perineum. That's common. You got to do it a lot. It's not like this stuff you can do it once and it works. It's like anything athletic. You do it the first time, you're probably going to suck. You might have to go out there and do it every day for a week or a month before it really kicks in. And so I want to invite you into that reality. Now, if you want to learn it faster, come to a workshop. We'll do it with you. And we'll do it over and over, especially the week-longs. We do a lot of that stuff. And we sit there and we give you direct feedback and we demo it and we do it again. You see it happening with us. We get you on camera doing it. It's amazing how, guys, the beauty of a coach is we can speed these processes up radically. We can change your life so much because we've walked the walk. We've been through it. We pushed ourselves. All my coaches, actually, every single one of them got in here and got dedicated to being in every workshop. And that's why they're coaches, because they've lived it all. A lot of people ask me how they can be a coach without taking a workshop. And I'm like, if you're not learning, you're just learning through the internet and I don't know you. Why would I pick that coach over a guy who's really invested and around all the time. And we even get guys that like Sam that just won't go away, or Anthony, and they're volunteering all the time too. And to help, they just want to be around the energy. They are doing it. They're not just talking about doing it, trying to, so it's amazing. And that's why they're so good at what they do. And so I want to invite you guys into this idea that you can start to embody this stuff, even all of it on a regular basis by doing this type of stuff. So start using energetic modeling on your grounding. Start picturing yourself grounding. Start picturing yourself relaxing through the body. But it does take time and takes experimentation with time. Okay. And be okay with sucking for a while, not being good at it. Can energetic modeling be used for healing? Of course. Revealing can be used for healing too. Healing can be easy and can be hard. It depends on how attached to your body you are. If you're really attached to how the body works and the physicality and the pain, and you believe in the pain, it's going to be, you got to release all of that before healing can start to happen on a regular basis. But as you start to let all that go, there's two ways that you'll heal. You'll either heal naturally, your body just starts healing because you're revealing and letting all the stress and tension out of it, and then it can heal. Or you get realizations of doctors and people you should be talking to, and you go do it, whether it's taking a program, seeing a doctor, doing this. There's all kinds of modalities out there. And as you get more and more conscious, the healing gets easier and easier. I've healed a lot of my body by release, and the right practitioner shows up to help me heal. And to me, that's everything. I love it. But at the same time, so I'm getting more and more healings that are just happening because I'm releasing, and I don't have to go see the doctor, or I get right to the point. I get one quick thing that fixes the problem of all the stuff. I had so many problems, guys, medically, that it was incredible. And I'm still cleaning stuff up, and I love it. It's part of what allows me to be a great teacher for you guys, is all the work I've done on myself. So, what's the next one? I felt my stomach bad after energetic modeling. Okay, then that's what you got to do. You're releasing. There's probably some resistance in your stomach, and there's probably some stories in there. That's self-esteem usually. That's personal power. That's what the stomach represents. I don't know if you've got traumas or problems. I had a lot of intestinal issues. I had such bad self-esteem, and I really destroyed my stomach. Leaky gut issues, candida, and I had to heal all of that. Okay. Because that was where all the traumas were stored. And it all started, I could never find the solution until I started revealing, getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And then suddenly all the solutions showed up. So far as ramping this up, would it be better to start small and wait for that to show up before moving to bigger things? Waiting for a physical object to appear, a person in real life, then start working on something like with more cogs, a college acceptance. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's what I tell people to do in the beginning is practice creating a bunch of easy stuff, and stuff that seems easier or more realistic to you or probable, and then get those under your belt, write them in a journal, all the things. The first thing when I started doing imagination work, even before I thought of this, is I just pictured myself receiving free water from people, bottles of water, glasses of water. And what ended up happening was that day, the very day I did it, I got like three people gave me water without me asking for it. And so I was like, wow, that's amazing. And then I was like, but that just, people are being nice. That's the way it goes in the world. It was too easy. And it wasn't. I had attributed it all to coincidence, so I had to do another thing and another thing. And in time, you start to buy into the reality, and that's another thing to release on, is this idea that it's just coincidence, right? Because you'll buy into that too. I'm going to always lean toward what makes my life better. I'm going to lean towards what's improving my life on a huge level. So if my life is improving, I'm going to keep doing that very thing. And believing I create my reality has allowed me to create all the stuff I have here today. My whole life, this amazing life that I have today. So I'm going to keep believing I can create my own reality, and including all the pain. I create all the pain and the problems unconsciously, most likely. And then as I clean it up, I get more and more powerful at creation. And so that works for me. And if I believe I'm a victim, though, look at that. Like if I sit there and say to myself all the time that I can't create my reality, reality is created or happens to me, then I'm going to be constantly subject to whatever's happening in the external world. Coronavirus hasn't bothered me. I've had to stay home for a bit, but for the most part, I've improved radically. I've done a lot of work on myself, a lot of work with the coaches, work with you guys, doing all these webinars, created a whole new business stream. We're going to be doing a lot more online content. Coronavirus has been awesome because I chose the moment it happened to see it in a different light and to start living, taking action on that different light. I visualized it, pictured it, took action on it. And so the whole company now is moving in a whole new direction because of it. And it's awesome. And it's going to allow us to bring you guys a lot more content on a global level and to really grow the business. And so let me see here. Let's get over here to the questions. I think we've got a few more. Ronak, hey buddy. What way I make sure that I am doing energetic modeling right way and not daydreaming? Okay. Ronak, come on, buddy. That was a poorly written sentence. What way I make sure, how do I make sure that I'm doing energetic modeling the right way and not daydreaming? It is kind of like daydreaming. Let yourself daydream. Let yourself, does it feel good? And then can you picture it in a 3D world? What is daydreaming but fantasizing? Now, the difference between daydreaming, the way I look at it, and daydreaming is not a bad thing, but if your mind is bouncing from topic to topic and just daydreaming about random shit, that's one thing. But if you're putting your energy into daydreaming about stuff you want to create, then go for it. I mean, you daydream a lot of stuff into existence. You probably daydreamed a movie, your lunch into existence at one point or another. You probably daydreamed you being lazy and playing video games into existence at one point. So don't make daydreaming bad. Just learn to use your frontal lobe to put intention into your daydream, to start to create a more powerful daydream that works for you. Does that make sense? I had no trouble feeling the presence of the girl. She even put her head in my shoulder, on her head on my shoulder on her own, without it being a part of my scenario. But I could not get her an erection. Do you need an erection? You get an erection when she shows up, or you could get an energetic erection. Just picture you've got one, and you don't have to literally have one. Or feel her below my heart. So do I have a guess on what that is? But any advice on what steps to take? So did you feel turn on? It's ultimately, that's all. You just feel some turn on. You can picture it energetically there. If you're picturing some sex or great sex with somebody, that's all you really need. If you're having trouble with that, then embodiment down in the second chakra, the turn on area, learning to feel that area, it would be highly suggested. Doing practices, moving your hips, exploring emotions. That's where the energetic embodiment happens to increase the modeling. And the topic today isn't about energetic embodiment, but it's about moving meditative movements of parts of the body to wake up those parts and get all the stored traumas and resistance out. Do you have any specific advice for releasing on the throat area? I've been allowing for days and started energetically modeling my throat opening up, but still nothing. When I get stuck, I go to energetic embodiment. I go to movement. I use a lot of exercise balls and I do meditations where I stretch and open, but I don't stretch a lot. It's just a little bit enough to create some feeling. And then I move and release, move and release, move and release. So what you're talking about there is a whole class we put on, and I can't really explain it in 1 minute in the question section. That's one thing. Another thing is if you're in apathy and you can't feel in an area, you might have to feel in that area and allow for a while. I've had to feel, and when I'm stuck in apathy, I've had to work on welcoming the apathy, the nothingness every day for like a week at times before stuff. And then it starts to open to pain and hurt, and because there's grief and stuff. And that, I'm not saying that's what I'll do for you, but that's something that can happen. So welcome what's there every day for a while, even if it's nothing. And then welcome the nothingness as if it's something, the lack of feeling or the numbness as if it is a feeling. Stop trying to get around it and welcome it. It is a feeling. Numbness is a feeling. Lack of feeling is a feeling. You're feeling something, even if it feels like nothing. And so the nothingness is something. So when you're feeling the nothingness, assume something is happening, and it's just going to be a very slow moving energy, and it might take a week, and come total acceptance of that. Give it 2 weeks, whatever it takes, and say, I'm going to just sit with this feeling for the next couple of weeks. That's the easiest way with a revealing process without being able to do movement or meditative movement-based processes, the energetic embodiment. And apathy is the toughest emotion. But once it breaks open, you'll probably be feeling all kinds of stuff, and you might want to and it might verge on breaking open and shutting down, and that's okay too. Let it do that for a while if it needs to do that. I have an insecurity that when my friends move forward towards success more than I do, I like getting good reactions from girls or seeing my best friend getting close to other people. I feel threatened. What should I do? You got to release on it. And then reveal, get to go start looking at the emotion, jealousy, envy. This might be more envy than jealousy. You got to look at what that's all about and then welcome it and then let it go and let go of the wanting to compete, wanting and the desire to be better than your friend. And that's just emotions. Welcome it all up. Spend a little time really looking at it and accepting it. It's just an emotion. You can welcome it. Whenever we can't release an emotion, it's because we don't want to accept it or see it. We want it to release faster before we accept it, before we get comfortable with it. So the first step is always to get comfortable with what you're looking at and keep looking at it till you can handle it. And then you can do the release on it, okay? What should I do to feel more in each part of the body? Put your awareness there. Put your consciousness in that part of the body and then move it and explore it and release whatever comes up. That's the simplest answer. I can put my consciousness in my shoulder and explore what's there, and I can move it. I can put it in my throat. And that's the best answer. And if you keep doing that, you'll learn stuff. If you want to do it fast and you want to learn how to do it deep and you want to learn what it's really like, check out one of our embodiment classes. Try yoga too. Find a yoga teacher that's really, you think is in feeling, whatever that means to you, that has a lot of depth of emotion and feeling and isn't just trying to do it as exercise though. How do you release unreleasing itself? Last 5 months has been the most amazing months of my life, and I attribute it to releasing. I have hit almost all my goals, but now I am hitting resistance. Yeah, that's great, Rishi. You welcome. What is your image of releasing? Is it because what happens is you release a lot and you hit some stubborn, deep embedded stuff that's deep in the subconscious and the body, and then you have a few experiences of difficult releases, and then you start to project that onto the revealing, releasing process itself. So what I would recommend you do at that point is you learn to welcome and welcome your images of releasing itself. What does releasing look like in your mind? Difficult, easy, and then just start letting go of whatever comes up. Welcome the stuckness, welcome the difficulty, welcome the challenge, welcome the resistance, use different words, whatever word works for you. Welcome the strong wanting, welcome the desire to avoid, all the different stuck energies that you can think of. Welcome the anger releasing, welcome and then you can play with back and forth, play with polarities on that until the releasing starts to get lighter and lighter itself. How do I have a calm, grounded voice like you, Brian? I didn't used to have that. That was a lot of work. Because I was so bound right in here. I was like, I had no voice almost. And it used to rise up a lot, but that's embodiment too. As I got more embodied through the center pillar of my body, which is, right down the front of the body, all the way down, I could feel more and more. I could have more emotional expression. And then what that is micro tightness all through the front of the body. So as you release the micro tightness in your chest, in your throat, in the rib cage, your voice usually starts dropping. And then as the emotions start to relax, your voice starts to relax. You get calmer and calmer and more focused and more channeled. All the way down to your turn on. You can speak from your turn on and you can start to really feel it. And what will happen is it'll come through in your vocal tone. And you can speak from your anger and your power, which can turn into courage. And you can speak from your grounded, solid energy. You can move at will. And so that takes a lot of revealing and into the body itself. That's where the emotional embodiment comes in. is learning to relate to and feel those emotions. It's vocal coaches and singers, if they're really good, should be teaching this stuff too, you know, but a lot of them don't. They teach technique. And I'm talking about the emotions coming through the voice and the power of emotion and feeling coming through the voice. And unfortunately, yoga teachers should be teaching you how to feel your body too, but unfortunately, they all turn it into exercise because people don't get these concepts. They focus on the technique, which is a lot of you guys are always asking me for a technique more than the feeling, and I focus more on feeling. The technique is only good as long as it's moving you towards more feeling, and you got to throw it out immediately and get a new one and a new one and a new one, and until eventually there is no technique. You're just in flow. You mentioned a book about emotions. What's back is used for? I feel mostly in the front and nothing in the back. What is the back used for? The back is your masculine, it's your grounding, it's your ability, it's your frame, it's what holds your body up. It's your, you know, when you drop into your back and you just relax in your back, there's a sense of, like if I go way into my back, there's a sense I start pulling away from you. There's a sense of up and down energy. The front is more feminine. It's where I start to open my heart and I start to, there's a flow and an interaction. You want to balance between the two. In actuality, you want your back to accentuate your feminine. And if you're resisting your back, you're probably more reactive. You probably have a lot more emotions because you're in the front of your body, you're probably racing, you're probably pushing all the time. If you're really in your back and not wanting to feel your front, you probably feel more cold, more pulled away, more pulled back. I have one sister that was in the front of her body a lot, and the other sister was in the back of her body a lot. And so they're both learning to integrate both sides of their bodies now. So it was great, man. We got through all the questions. It was an awesome call. Probably because there's only 25 of you. It's too bad because I think this was a fantastic call, and I think you guys got a lot of value out of it. Luckily, it'll be in replay for some people. Now, with this said, we're going to be teaching this weekend, guys. This weekend is going to be the revealing process, the debut of the revealing process online. And I'm super excited to be teaching this online. If you guys are tired of, you know, somebody on here wrote just a little while ago how much revealing has changed his life on such a radical level. And if you guys are tired of the frustration of like being stuck and you want to process that'll help you break up the stored emotions and help get them out of your body, the ones that don't serve you, the ones that hold you back, then this class could very well be the thing that changes your life. It's 2 full days done online, so you don't have to leave your house. There'll be breaks, there'll be lunch, all that kind of stuff. And we'll be teaching you how to separate those emotions. So think about it for a minute. If you have sadness and grief and apathy and fear stored in your body, and there's thoughts that go with that, because there's a thought with every emotion. And the thought is, I can't do it, I'm going to fail, there's no point. And then there's this apathetic energy or this heavy energy. What the revealing and releasing process does is it teaches you to release the emotion out of that thought. And so that thought has no more power over you. And then if you have the thought, it doesn't do anything to you. Matter of fact, the thought goes away. And you can think back to when you used to have thoughts like that, like I can, and I just laugh at them. Those thoughts don't bother me anymore. I used to be so reactive, but it's because of processes like these that I don't get bothered anymore. The littlest rejection would set me off. I would get so sad. I thought I hated myself. I'd attack myself, look at myself in the mirror and beat myself up. But through processes like these, and specifically this process done intensely, whatever, I don't care anymore. It's shifted me radically. Also my health. I was really in a bad shape with my health, and this process with an intense amount of work, nothing else ever worked with this. An intense amount of work has healed me on such radical levels. My whole body is different now and changing even faster and faster every year. I am literally healthier right now than I was in my 20s by far. And I'm in my 50s now, guys. You guys, some of you don't know that, but I'm in my 50s and I am healthier now by far than I was back then. And it's because I'm constantly cleaning out the mind. I'm getting and when you look at it on a chemical level, what happens when you de-stress the body and you learn to handle stress in a healthy way and use it properly is your cortisol DHEA balance, your hormonal balance starts to get in order. And there's this nice axis in there that starts to come into this nice balance. The body can heal itself. It can process emotions and information better and much better. And then your natural thought process just starts to change from one of I can't do it to I can. Let's do this. You get excited about life again. So if you're ready for a big shift in your life and you're ready to really change this area of your life, then sign up today. find the link in the chat box, get started right away, because we're going to stop taking signups on Friday evening. And a lot of people, didn't want to pay the big ticket price to come to a live releasing program. So this is going to be a smaller releasing program. There's going to be a lot more people, but you get such powerful information at such an inexpensive cost that how can you not take it? And I'm going to be, diving right in. We're going to be working on emotional intelligence. We're going to be working on understanding and relating and how these emotions work. We're going to work on learning to accept emotions so that you can then let them out and get them out of your body. We're going to start looking at why they get stuck in your body and how to process these emotions. So if you guys are ready for a really powerful shift in this area, again, find the link in the video. It's right there right now. Jonathan just posted it. Click on it and get started right away. I look forward to teaching this stuff to you. I don't know if we'll be doing this again online anytime soon. We're probably going to record this, and we might offer it as a recording to people in the future. We might do other ones. We'll see how it goes. But we typically do this live and for small groups. And so it's very expensive. This is your way to get some powerful information in a much easier format. And 2 full days, like we just literally did an hour and a half. Okay. And imagine 2 full days of this where we really dig deep into this stuff. How much could that change your life? A lot of guys will spend a fortune on a TV, on a car, on new clothes, but they won't spend a fortune on themselves, their own mind, their own brain, the way they think, the way they feel about themselves. Suddenly it's like, oh, I can't spend that money. That's where the money should be going, more than the clothes, the car, the stuff that it loses value the moment you take it. It's amazing how people will be very comfortable putting, oh yeah, it's just a TV, I might as well go buy it. But then we ask them to spend the same amount of money on their brain, their mind, and their personal life, and they're like, I can't do that. And that says a lot about where you put the value in yourself. You don't put value in yourself. If you do that, you put value in objects. And to me, the number one thing I spend money on that's most important is what makes me feel better and improve myself. And that's where it comes from. So with that said, remember only the confident really live. And I'm saying that because of what I just talked about. And my whole goal in life, and the whole reason I built Fearless Man, is to teach men to be confident and powerful. So if you're ready to make that shift, get started, and I will see you on Saturday morning, guys. I think that's it. You guys have a beautiful day, and I love talking to you guys about this stuff, and we'll see you. When's the next call, guys? That's Thursday, right? I got one on Thursday. Yep. I'm going to be doing an interview with Anna Maria, the beautiful Anna Maria. Hi, Anna Maria. She's right there under Anna. And she's out in Bucharest, stuck there because nobody can fly anywhere. But we'll have her live on camera. You get to see Anna, and you get to hear her talk about her revealing, releasing experience and how much it's changed her life. Okay, guys, have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you all soon and see you on Thursday.